All right. Okay, so we are recording a training for Black Girls Code core team members, as well as any program coordinators who need to learn how to set up EventBrite and iVolunteer, which are the two systems that we use to register girls for the events and to register volunteers for the events. And they are online platforms and tools that are really helpful, but they can also be a little confusing. So we're just going over how to do them and set them up. So what we're going to start out first with is EventBrite, how to create an EventBrite event, and how to set it up for Black Girls Code purposes. And we are actually going to work on starting in EventBrite for building a mobile app in a day workshop. So the first thing you're actually going to do is you're always going to copy a previous workshop that's on EventBrite. We never want to create anything from scratch because all our events pretty much follow the same formula. So we are going to go to past events here in EventBrite, and we're going to pick on the DC event here. And we're going to copy this event because it pretty much is the same thing. It's building a mobile app in a day with App Inventor, which is great. But we are going to create that for our Raleigh-Durham chapter. So when you go into the manage, this is what it's going to look like. I can pull it out. It's going to look like this. It has this menu is going to be really important, and we're going to go over all those items. And then it looks like this. You can see your people here who have ordered things already. You'll see your number of students that have registered for the event. This line here is to see how many folks have submitted any donations, if at all. That's optional. All right, so this is an event that's already been completed. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click here to copy, that little tiny copy button, and we are gonna copy this event. And then you're gonna follow the formula here. Black Girls Code DC Presents, we're actually gonna change that to, you would change that to your chapter name. For our purposes, it's gonna be Raleigh-Durham. I can spell Raleigh-Durham correctly. There we go. Build a mobile app in a day with App Inventor. All right, copy event. Voila. So this is in draft form, which is that yellow draft button allows you to see. And we also have the make event live when we're ready. Okay, so this is the edit event page. So quick tips here. So we also have in your Google Drive server that I've shared with everyone, you in the chapter resources folder has been shared with all core teams. This is where you want, you're going to find EventBrite quick tips. You could also just search in your Google Drive EventBrite quick tips and it'll just pop right up. But essentially this is a document that I've created that has literally like all the sections you need to double check on and look through, even if you've copied an event. So you pretty much just go through these items to make sure everything is updated. Awesome. So going back to EventBrite here, we have obviously some of the key things that are going to need to change are location because it's not going to be located in DC. So you want to make sure you update all that information. This particular event is going to be at St. Augustine in Raleigh-Durham, which I can update. I think it's university. We'll come back to it. So you would update all that information, and then the date for the Raleigh-Durham mobile app event is actually the 21st. The time, so the time on here, we always put 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Girls are asked to arrive between 9 and 10 for registration, which we will include in an email to them, but I'll continue to show you. So you'll update that information. All right, so this is, you just changed to Raleigh, Durham. So pretty much down here, you just need to go through and update all of your information that is not the same. So update the location information. So all this content here that just explains how the mobile app development workshop goes is the same across all chapters. So we would just leave this section in here about App Inventor. The event starts probably at 10 a.m. Registration begins at 9 a.m. right there. Awesome. And then note that this workshop is for our older girls from 12 to 17, which is important because parents will want to bring their younger girls. Okay, so a couple things that definitely always need to be changed. Scholarship link stays the same all across every chapter. Website link to forms always stays the same. That gives folks the link to where to find the forms they need to print out for the event. Volunteer registration form is our general. Let's open it up. So we always link it to iVolunteer, which that's why you always create these two items at the same time. Open link, a new tab. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, so this is the link to take you to the volunteer registration form to register to be a volunteer for this particular event. So this link needs to be updated. So I'm going to unlink it like I just did, and we'll come back to it. And you would link that to your iVolunteer. Special thanks to our location sponsor and our premier sponsor. Yeah, partner. So special thanks to our location partner, and then we would state who that is here. And our premier sponsor, and I can't spell premier. Verizon. So Verizon's our main funder in this area. And then we always get logos from the organizations that are hosting us. So just FYI, you want to make sure you always ask them for a logo to send you. And the way you would insert logos is you go here to photo. Now, oftentimes they're asking for an image URL, so sometimes we'll Google it and we'll just put a link to the exact same image. Or you can actually, there is a way to upload it, insert. If you click insert here, oh, sorry. Oh, browse. If you hit browse, upload files, you can upload files directly from your computer here, which is great. So you're not always relying on the internet. Great. All right, scroll down. That looks great. All right, so this section here is where we talk about the capacity and the number of tickets we have available. Total capacity is 150. Now this capacity depends on your event space, of course. So at all our BGC events, we want at least 50 girls to attend at minimum. But oftentimes we have anywhere from 50 to 100 to 200 girls who can attend, but it depends on the space, your space limits. Each ticket costs $35 for each girl to attend. The total is going to be $36.87 with tax and fees. And right now there's 75 available tickets. Now we usually don't include the show ticket description on event. We usually leave it unchecked. Ticket description there so they remember the age. And ticket start date, you want to make sure that these dates are up to date. So I mean, April 2014 is just as long as it's before the end date, we're good. But essentially, you just want this to be when you're about to do your tickets. So we're in the 10th month right now. You could just say 10/01/2015, that's fine. And then sales will end The event happens on the 21st, so we have sales end on this day. At midnight. Okay, so hide ticket type. All right. We leave that, and then tickets allowed. Tickets allowed per order. If they want to do multiple tickets, that's fine as long as they pay for it. Sometimes folks are ordering for multiple girls. And then this section here is for sponsor a girl. And this is to sponsor, again, this is about donations. Folks will donate. Essentially, this is like 80 people can donate money to BGC. That's what this number means. And then the capacity does include this number and this number. So it's always going to be more than the number. Like if you can only have 75 students in your event space, you wouldn't put 75 here because that means that 0 people could donate. So you just combine the two, and then and then EventBrite keeps track, lets us know like how many folks have registered here, so we know that we don't go over our capacity. All right. So want to make sure we save all of that. We'll save at the bottom here. Public page, and we'll hit save. All right, we have most of the basics down here. Okay, now we will go to the manage page. Okay, if at any time you actually want to check to see, you know, like what it looks like, and you want to make sure everything looks good, you hit on I believe that was the preview button, and then it'll show you right here what it looks like. And you can just sort of scope it out. This is what parents see when they want to register their kids. So they're going to hit order now. They're going to pick however many they want. This gives them the more info about the tickets. And then this is where all y'all's information is about the event that day. And then they can click on the link to volunteer. We'll update that link. This is the scholarship link is right here. And then this is to the parent forms. So that's what they see on their end. You want to make sure all this is updated. It's good, but it looks pretty good. One thing is we never really mess with the design button because it's all pre-set up. So we just go here with manage. Now the sections that you need to go through based on the quick tips are order form section, payment options, order confirmation, waitlist settings, discount codes, email invitations, emails to attendees, and add attendees. All right, order form. Order form is right here. We go there first. So this is what order form, this controls what the parents see when they need to, what information they need to put in when they order their ticket. So collect information by ticket type, student, each attendee. All right, so each attendee needs to do these things. They need to give us their first name and their last name. That's the green stuff here. So that's what this means. We have, sometimes cell phone isn't clicked. We always want to make sure that's clicked. And then we want to make sure it's not just included, but it's required. And so on and so forth. We always want to make sure age is clicked. We collect data on that. And then these are BGC specific questions that we have on here as well. All right. So the next part is that this here is our t-shirt sales. So parents can while they're on here registering their girl, they can also order a t-shirt on here. And BGC prints out these orders and usually sends them with the t-shirts to the chapter ahead of time to hand out. But sometimes if our orders aren't up to date, we will also mail it directly to the families after the event. Great. All right. And all of this pretty much stays the same. So you just go down and you save. All right, information has been saved, so that looks great. Payment options. So next section here, if you see at the top, it says payment options. I'm gonna click on that. Just gonna check to make sure everything's going well here with the recording. All right. Looks like I may need to share the screen again. Okay, so sometimes using this tool is not always the smoothest. All right, hopefully you can see my screen now. Great. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a step back and start over. So we just need to check, go back to order form. We were just talking about order form here. So order form page here. All right, this section again is the order form where parents have to fill out their information, and we decide what's on that order form using this section here. Okay, great. Just trying to check to make sure it's mirroring what I'm doing. Okay, so for example, we have we want the parents to complete first name, last name, so on and so forth, email, phone, cell phone. We always want to make sure it's checked off. And then this section here makes sure the question is required. And then we also have custom questions we've come up with here. And then we have t-shirt purchase set up here. And then if you scroll down, you can just save because everything else is pretty standard. Great. Payment options is the next section we check out here. So right now, we don't have any offline payments here, but for Raleigh-Durham, we do want to offer a pay at the event option. We never accept checks, and we don't accept invoices. So must confirm attendance first for this payment option by emailing future@blackgirlscode. So that is right, and so we save that. Sometimes folks need to pay cash at the event because not everybody has access to the banking system. All right, great, saved. Next section that we check out based on quick tips here is our order confirmation. All right, excellent. So this is a lot of code. And I'll show you what section this is in a second, but essentially what you need to do in this section is update the very bottom. Sorry, it's getting a little finicky here. Go back. There we go, there's two little, okay. So essentially we want to scroll down to the link in this code here. So if you see here, it says, it links back to EventBrite, Black Girls Code DC presents, mobile DC presents, right? Mobile app development with App Inventor. So essentially this link is going to take folks back to mobile app for DC. So we want to change that. The link that we utilize is here on the manage page. So let's go back to check it out. All right, so we have a formula that we use for these URLs, but I'm actually going to quickly look into another event real quick just to find our format. So we'll just quickly look into Robot Expo. Okay, so this is what it looks like here. This is our format. So just copy this from an old event and then paste. I think like this. Oh, we have to click on edit, manage, edit. Okay, so essentially the formula is BGC, chapter, acronym, RD, and then for them it's going to be mobile app 2015 EventBrite.com. So we'll just save that. Please enter only letters. Okay. Oh, what it is here is that we don't need the EventBrite.com piece because EventBrite.com is right here in front of us. All right, so we're gonna save. Probably doesn't need the HTTP either. All right, there we go. So that is the URL. We are going to just click that, it'll copy it for us, that we're gonna change here in this order confirmation code. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna just try to bring it. Okay, scroll down here, all the way down, and we're gonna change this href. All right, there we go. And that'll send them to the right thing. And then we want to make sure this has the right date. Thank you for registering for Saturday, November 21st at all right. We want to make sure that's all up to date. Parents do not need to print their tickets and bring them. Oftentimes they do, but just FYI. And then we save our settings, and then we move on to the next section. All right. So, waitlist settings. Oh, we want to also make sure the location's updated on the PDF ticket here. Let's see. Oh, that's the PDF ticket. Okay, great. Ooh. Oh, all right, there we go. All right, so one of the items here, we want to make sure that it has the correct location on it. Oh, the location was the URL, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing something. Okay, next section is discount codes, or well, we have, let's do waitlist settings, and then we'll come back to discount codes. So waitlist settings is here. So this gets set up when all our tickets are out and we create a waitlist. So when student sells out is when it's triggered, so that's good. People need to enter in their full name, their email address, and their phone number. That's great. This is their message that they get from us. Okay. And this is the message that they get when a ticket has been released. So that all looks pretty good. Maximum waitlist size, you can set the waitlist to also max out. And we usually leave it at 0. And then let me show you. So when you go to manage waitlist, right now it's just going to look blank. But it looks like this, and you'll see people's names pop in here. Essentially, when you release the tickets, when they're on the wait list, their names are in gray, and then when you release the tickets, the color of their names will change. And if they have like 48 hours or so to accept the ticket, and essentially when the tickets are released, they get an email. And if they haven't accepted their ticket and it's getting close to that 48-hour deadline, their name's going to pop up here in red. But it's just important to keep an eye on this if tickets are sold out prior to the event. Okay, so next section we're going to do is discount codes. Great. So Black Girls Code offers 10 scholarships for every event that we do, at least 10. Right now, these are our discount codes. They obviously need to be edited because they're all for DC. So the 50% discount code is really a promotional code for that we will send out with to families. It'll be RD for Raleigh-Durham. For Atlanta, you could put like ATL. RD alum, I think we just did that. Okay. This, so this one here is for the scholarship. So BGC RD app is for the scholarship. That's what this discount code is for. And then this voucher is for anybody. So vouchers, essentially what happens is our return policy is that you have to let us know at least a week in advance before you cancel from an event. If you cancel less than a week, then we give you a voucher for the next BGC workshop. So essentially parents who have vouchers can enter in this code, and then they'll be able to attend the following event free when they enter it into the registration here. Okay, so we're gonna save that. Or I guess they're already saved. Great. So next, we're gonna go to the next section that we need to check out is email invitations. So we can go back to our event dashboard here, which is our main page. Okay, so emails to attendees is a section I think that pops up when things are live. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to show you in a different event because this one's not ready to go live yet. So we'll scope it out here. Emails to attendees. Okay. So if you look here, we have we can schedule emails, and this sends out emails to all the folks who have registered for the event. This is a basic reminder email here, or just a reminder message like, hey, you signed up for this event, it's happening. Awesome. All right. If you wanted to create a new attendee email, you would go here. And then here's where you can enter in all the content here. You want to make sure the subject line makes sense. And then you would enter in the content here. One note for core teams is that in your Google Drive, you actually have a file called EventBrite in the plan folder. And we highly suggest that you draft the emails here first. This section here is actually for the content of the EventBrite. So in the event something happens, you have it here, you can just copy and paste it. But here's the email. Pre-event logistics is the common email that needs to get set up. And this email includes all of the information about the event that parents would need before they get there. So, remind like time, date, location. We provide a mini agenda here just so they know the flow. Any information about t-shirt distribution if needed. Or it's right here actually, sorry. That's how it goes together like that. And then we have parking and transportation information, which is always really good to just be really clear about that because we want to make sure our parents are maximizing their funds if they have to park on the street or if it's cheaper to park in a local parking tower. And then we have their to-do list here at the bottom, which reminds them to fill out those forms. These are links to the forms directly. And then we have a pre-workshop survey they can complete. And these are additional notes for parents just to keep in mind. And literally you just update this and then copy and paste it into this email section here. And then you send now, or you can schedule it here, but usually we schedule it to be like a week before the event. You could even set it up to be sent out twice, like 3 days before, just so we know the parents are prepared. Awesome. This is a post-event message that we also always send to parents that has information on further resources that relate to the topic of the workshop. This template here is specifically for website. And then we sometimes include like a 50% discount for the next workshop in this message as well to encourage parents to attend another event with BGC. So that is your resource in your Google Drive folder. So that's what that looks like. And then the other section here is we look at the add attendees section. Let's see. So add attendees is actually a section that really, the note in the quick notes here, that's what it's referring to, is we can add attendees manually ourselves in using EventBrite in the event that a parent has trouble registering, which is fine. But we would, you always want to make sure that you, maybe they need to pay, they got to pay, this just, you have to pick what payment method they're using. So essentially what happens, when we use this section the most, honestly, it's on site during registration. So a new student shows up, or essentially, and we register them using this, and we always want to include them in this information because this is where we like keep our data and we pull it from EventBrite. Then, on site, you'd ask the parent, like, all right, are you paying with cash or are you paying with credit card? And they'll be like, I'm paying directly by credit card. Okay, great. And then you just register them, and then we actually collect their payment using our Square app that we have. And we just want to make sure that we're not charging them the 35, but we're charging them the 37. I think it's the 36.78. That includes that one, that fee, because that fee is what we're being charged by EventBrite. So that's just a quick note here what this section is for. But yeah, that's essentially EventBrite in a nutshell. And then again, you always want to, as far as y'all are going to draft these, and then you'll send an email to HQ and be like, hey, I completed my EventBrites in the drafts. Can you review it? And then they'll click, make it go live, and then it'll show up here under live events. And so these are all the current events BGC is putting on. And then as you can tell here, the green numbers are the number of kiddos that are registered, and the gray numbers is like the capacity for every event. And so that's what you keep an eye on as you're looking for girls to register. And the way that we share this event is on social media through our mailing list. Mostly we get the word out, and that's how we share and get folks signed up for our events. So before I transition to iVolunteer, did you have any questions? If you want to type them into the window here. I'm going to scope it out. Nope. Okay, great. All right, so we're going to transition into iVolunteer, which doesn't look as pretty as EventBrite, but it's definitely a useful tool. Okay, so iVolunteer. This is what it looks like. So this is what volunteers see when they go to our website. So let's actually go to the BGC Black Girls Code website. Yeah, here we go. Bam. So we always direct all parents and folks to the programs and events page. Bam, here it is. So this is what the community sees. And when they go here, this is what they're like, okay, I want to go to the Raleigh-Durham Robot Expo. This link takes them to the scholarship form, which looks like that. Awesome. Close that. And then this register now takes them to the EventBrite. Great. And then this sign up to volunteer takes them to iVolunteer. And essentially, they get all this info here, not just about the workshop, but a mandatory volunteer training that they need to attend here, okay, based on their role. And then they scroll down, and then they decide what they want to do at the workshop. Do they want to teach kids how to code? Then they sign up to be a tech instructor. Do they want to, they're not ready to be the actual teacher in the classroom, but they have a technical background, they want to tutor. They could be tech assistants for whatever shift. Classroom assistant is, they have experience with development and they just want to support young folks in the classroom. Non-tech volunteers, I'd rather do something non-tech. How about registration? And they'd sign up here. We have social media volunteers that tweet while they're at the event. We have volunteer photographers that could come. We also hire professional photographers. The PR and community outreach marketing volunteers, usually in the event that we have any media on site, like a news person, that they would be the point person to manage that. And then core team members, of course, are registered here. So that's what that looks like, and it's real simple and it's great. They just enter in their information, and then they're automatically click volunteer, and then they're all set to go. And then on the back end, we set everything up so that they get the information. Great. So let's look. This is what the back end looks like for iVolunteer, and then we also have this iVolunteer quick tips again that give you guys directions on what to scope out. Also located in the chapter resources folder under tech tools. All right, so when you log in, you're actually going to see the dashboard first, I think. Oh, actually, no. You're going to see, the dashboard, which are these events here. Then you want to click on events. And again, we follow the same rules of EventBrite. You always want to copy something. You don't want to create anything from scratch. So we can start the Raleigh-Durham Mobile Expo iVolunteer sheet. So let's see. We'll copy, we could just copy an old Raleigh-Durham event, game in a day. Bam. So what you're going to do is you click on it here, it'll pop up here, and then you're going to hit this copy button here. All right, we're going to update this. November 21st. Build a mobile app in a day. In a day, you want to make sure you get rid of the copy. Raleigh-Durham, November 21. Start date, of course, is November 21st. Okay, and you hit OK. Bam. Save. I always save the last thing I was in. Okay, so we are now in this section here, details. So you want to make sure all this is up to date. Volunteer coordinator, and then you should put in your chapter email here. rdchapter@blackgirlscode.org. Make sure the number, that's our office number here. You could leave that or you could put another number. All right, event start date. Okay, sign up end date is scheduled for 11/20, which should be okay. Essentially, you want to make sure this date is before the volunteer training, and in this event, the volunteer training would be the Friday before the event. And that's for like all the non-tech and tech volunteers. The tech volunteers actually have a separate training that is online, so they can get the curriculum ahead of time. Great, this all looks great. Okay, so we always save everything before you go to the next page. Now we're gonna go to the settings tab. So for settings, this is how many volunteers, slots per limit, that's fine. Okay, this is usually always pretty much the same, so we leave it. Next is layout. All right, this is the most important thing, instructions at the top. This is the section that they see. Instructions at the top is this section here. Okay, so great. So one good thing about iVolunteer, because I've actually lost my work in iVolunteer and it sucks, is that we really want to follow this rule again of making sure that there is also a sheet like there is for EventBrite for volunteers. And so we want to make sure we actually type in all the things we need for iVolunteer in this document first, and then just copy and paste it over. Because it will delete your work. So this section here is exactly how it looks for instructions at the top, except that it looks like it needs to be made like this. But yeah, it's essentially the same section. So let's go back to iVolunteer. So you would update all this information here. The main thing here that is talking about is like, when is the event, when, what, where, why is the event, right? Update all that. You want to make sure the mandatory training is really clear. You put the date and the time for that. Workshop location, training location. We usually try to have the training in the same place as the workshop so the volunteers can get familiar with it ahead of time. Link to the volunteer application. This links back to the website for them to volunteer and see the events that are happening. And then you would save that, okay? All right, all these other things are all instructions, but for the most part, sometimes if you're not sure, you can just click on it and it'll tell you if it needs, you can see if it needs to be updated, if it has any pertinent information. Always save again. And then next section, add prompts. So these prompts here are what the folks see when they sign up. So when they go here and they're like, yay, that's what this section is referring to, these prompts here and what they need to enter in. Okay. And we usually have it pretty standard. We just ask for email and phone number. Sometimes if you need, we ask for addresses if you want to like mail them a gift or something. But that's pretty standard. Leave that. Information, info messages. So confirmation instructions always look like that. Auto confirmation instructions are the ones that need to definitely be updated. So this again has training information. So you would just copy and paste this information again. And then this pretty much stays the same. It is standard. And we include links here for volunteers. Yeah, you just want to make sure this all makes sense for yours. If it doesn't, I would copy and paste this, add it to your lovely document here, and then save it on here so you have it as backup in the event that you need to edit it again. All right, so you would save that, and then you want to make sure that's good. Next section that you want to go is you want to go down here to confirmation notification template and always change this. This also has the same info, but it needs to be updated. And if you forget to update one of these sections, it means that volunteers are going to see information for another event and they're going to get confused. Okay, so that's here. Date and time is pretty standard. Logo is pretty standard. So we just save, and this is all under settings. And then we go up to sign up sheet design. This is also pretty standard. This is how many folks can sign up to be in each section for the volunteers. This manages the volunteer signups here. It's pretty much all here for you. If you need to see it, you keep scrolling down, and it's the core team and all that. Now, sometimes what we want to do is we want more than just 4 tech instructors signed up. Sometimes we want 6 and folks can like double up. Essentially, it's 1 instructor per classroom. And usually we have 3 classrooms at minimum. Is the most ideal, it's the best ideal workshop. And that would be 2 instructors per classroom. But yeah, sometimes you want to up this depending on your community, so you have some backup folks. Okay, great. So that's pretty standard. Save, manage. So this allows you to actually add volunteers manually. So down here for core team, for example, you want to add yourselves as core team. So add from database means that you're in the database, which is great. And we'll just type in a core team member here, Renee Johnson. And that is a tech lead, and she's confirmed and she's in there now. You can do this for any volunteer if someone's having trouble, or if, let's say like you have a friend that wants to sign up but you want to give them an extra hand, you could just go in here and you could be like, oh, my friend's gonna do, it's gonna be a non-tech lead, so I'll just sign them up real quick. If they're not already in the database, then you could just add them manually here. And you just click add. Great. Preview. This is when you get to preview the information at the top and see if you entered it in correctly, how it looks and if it makes sense. All right. Reminder emails is one of the next sections that we utilize. This is always here for everything, which is great. So we don't ever edit this, we just leave it. This is the email that folks get at the end after they volunteered, and then there's a link in here to the volunteer happiness survey, which is excellent. One thing to note here though is the only people who see this are the people who have been checked off in iVolunteer as here. So if, as you see, like that means Renee signed in for that event and made it. But if she isn't checked off, she's not going to get that email. So you want to make sure you've checked in all the volunteers that were actually at the event that day. All right, reminders. So schedule an email. Let's schedule one 10 days prior. It's going to be a reminder for, we're going to do a custom reminder that's already in here. And it's going to be a training date update. We're going to do, well, essentially it's actually not just a tech instructor reminder, it's actually going to be a volunteer training reminder for everyone. Volunteer training reminder. Okay, so this is what the template looks like. It's already there for you. You just need to go in and update it. Awesome. And then you would schedule it. And you'd say yes, and then it pops up right here. Oh, it says 1 day prior, so we want to edit that. You want to make sure it's 10 days prior. And then you would click save. Now there's an option here to create a new custom template yourself. And you can utilize any of these and just sort of tweak it. It's a good tool if you need it. Great. Let's say that you want to just send a message to the tech instructors. Okay, now you're gonna actually we're gonna send now is what you're gonna click on. If you need to send it to, you just want to send a reminder just to the tech instructors, and like let's say we do custom tech instructor training reminder, bam. You can click on just tech instructors like that. Or if you just want to do all the tech volunteers, bam, this message will only go to those folks who signed up, this is a really helpful tool if you wanna send out a reminder just for the tech training, because tech training is the tech volunteers have to come to 2 trainings, the online tech training and then the in-person Friday training. So yeah, really helpful tool. But unfortunately, you can't schedule it, which is a bummer. So you have to sort of send it right away. All right. Next section we have here is reports. Now reports are great. This is how we actually create our volunteer sign-in sheets, at least our paper versions. So essentially you want to make sure your event is checked off here. Bam. If you were to check off multiple ones of these events, let's say you wanted to go back and get data for all the volunteers for every event, I click on all the Raleigh-Durham ones and it would print an Excel spreadsheet with all that information. You shouldn't really need that. But essentially, click that. It's going to print out all the information for the current volunteers, and it's going to create an Excel spreadsheet, include custom prompts. We want that information because that's like our cell phone and our email prompts. And then you would like run report. There's nothing in a report. But essentially, you're going to get an Excel spreadsheet that has all this data in it for you. Yep. And you have to do this prior to the training so you can get your training sign-in sheet that way. Great. This is just your activity log. It'll tell you. iVolunteer is set up to send you emails and give you summaries of who signed up. It'll also trigger you and send you emails. Let's go back to settings here. I think it was under info messages. Emails, yeah. It'll send you emails here on confirmation, on cancellation. You want it immediately so you know if you're losing, especially tech instructors. When reminder emails are sent out, on reply or bounce back. Okay, yeah. So these are just important things that iVolunteer will send you notifications to your chapter email that you've set up. Great, well that is pretty much it for iVolunteer here. Oh, one good thing to know that has been really helpful for me as well is if you see here, you want to this actually tells you how many total volunteers you have confirmed and registered, which is great. So instead of literally going and counting each one down the row, which I've done before, it just tells you for you right here, which is awesome. So it'll be like, you have 30 people signed up or confirmed, which means you have 30 people signed up. So that's really helpful if you, when we talk in our check-in meetings, we're like, well, how many volunteers are there? You just can look right away in the manage section. Great. All right. So those are the 2 tools that we use the most of, and I'm actually going to, that concludes the iVolunteer and EventBrite training. So let's pause the screen sharing. And we can end our training. Thank you.